stable patient dies on a quiet night. The fastest responder leads the team and gets praise. Then a quiet audit begins. And the graphs don't lie. If you like calm, slow burn true crime with no jump scares, please like and subscribe. Tell me in the comments where you're watching from and what time it is there. I'm always curious. Fiction inspired by real hospital audits and patient safety reporting. All names and details are invented. No gore, just procedures, choices, and data. The night it starts. It's Tuesday, just after 2 a.m. The floor is quiet. Hall lights hum. A TV in an empty room plays a cooking show. On the whiteboard, the charge nurse has drawn a small coffee cup at 3 a.m., a little joke for the team. Room 414. Patrick Lane, 69, recovering from pneumonia. He's been stable all night. Low oxygen support. Good vitals. He told the evening nurse he's excited to FaceTime his granddaughter in the morning. 2:07 a.m. The monitor chirps, a check me alert. A nurse tech peeks in. Patient looks okay. Calls the desk. 2:10 a.m. The alarm escalates. Code blue, room 414. Footsteps, doors, the crash cart. A good team looks like choreography. Backboard, meds, recorder, compressions, airway, timestamps, fast, quiet, focused. Front and center, like always, is Philip Crane, patient care tech 2, 4 years here. He's in the room before the overhead call ends, gloves on, calm voice. He directs people. Staff feel relief when he shows up. They work the code. It runs long. At 2:31 a.m., the attending calls it. Mr. Lane is gone. They step back, curtain drawn. The hallway exhales. The charge nurse taps Philip's shoulder. Good job. You were right there, he says. We did what we could. He always says that. Paperwork begins. It's a sad night, but not unheard of. Older patients can crash without warning. You document. You debrief. This time, they don't move on. 3 hours later, there's another code on the unit. 2 nights earlier, there were 2 codes on one shift. A 10-year nurse finally says the thing everyone feels. This is too many. Why hospitals audit? When something feels wrong, hospitals pull the receipts. The data trail modern systems create without trying. Monitors log who silences alarms and changes limits. Badge readers log every door entry. The electronic record timestamps charting. Pharmacy cabinets record every open, take and return. Even staff elevators log rides at 2 a.m. After Mr. Lane's death, Quality and Safety opens an occurrence review. It's a checklist, not a witch hunt. Orders, meds, notes, labs, equipment function. If the system failed, fix it. This review gets an extra set of eyes. Dr. Laura Voss, data analyst, ex-tech industry. Headphones, spreadsheets, answers. Not dramatic, just precise. Her first question is simple and exact. Show me the last 90 days of code blues on this floor. She gets day, time, room, outcome, staff present. She builds a grid. She colors by shift and day. An hour later, she's at the nurse manager's door with a printout. Do your codes spike on Tuesday, Thursday nights? She asks. They're not supposed to, the manager says. They do, Laura says, and not by a little. A pattern you don't want. 90 days of emergencies on a calendar tell stories. Random events scatter. Non-random events cluster. The cluster, Tuesday, Thursday night shift, has nearly triple the codes of other nights. Tighter still, most fall between 1:30 and 3:30 a.m., the thinnest staffing window. Could be chance. Bad luck comes in streaks. Laura layers staff assignments, charge nurse, respiratory coverage, ICU float, techs. One name keeps appearing on the spiking nights. Philip Crane. Careful now. Good techs are assigned to busy units. Of course they show up for crises. That is the job. So Laura does the control test. She circles nights. Philip is not on the unit. Days off, switched units, home. On those nights, codes drop sharply. Still could be coincidence. Investigations stack small things until they stop looking small. Door logs next. Badges don't lie. Philip's badge pings outside rooms he wasn't assigned. 1 minute here, 3 minutes there. No charting afterward. No vitals entered. Maybe he's being helpful, answering call lights, bathroom help, untangling an IV line. You don't chart every small kindness. So she checks a different system, monitor audit trails. Monitors log a lot, silences, limit changes, lead disconnects, hallway panel alerts toggled off, on. 2 different nights, about 15 minutes before codes in 2 different rooms, someone toggled alarm settings that shouldn't be touched. Last badge to ping those rooms before the toggles. Philip. The first interviews. Quality and safety isn't law enforcement. No arrests, no cameras. There's a process. Small room, coffee, same questions with gentle variations. Do answers line up? They start wide. Charge nurses, RTS, night pharmacist, biomedical tech, the intern who always looks tired. The same phrase repeats. Philip's always first through the door. Assistant nurse manager. He runs, like he hears it before we do. Respiratory. He's there with the backboard before I can grab mine. Biomed. He called at 2:50 a.m. about a hallway panel sweeper. Who even notices that? In healthcare, the hero gets a glow. It comforts people in scary spaces. It also creates blind spots. They bring in Philip, 30, scrubs a bit tight, clean fade, easy smile. Patients like him, staff like him. He sits like someone who's heard good news in rooms like this. It's gentle. Walk us through Monday night. I was stocking linen. Heard the alarm. Ran to 414. We worked the code. You were in 412 at 1:55. Why? Mrs. Cars call light. Bathroom help. Why 409 at 202? He pauses. I do rounds. If I pass a door, I peek in. That's how I was trained. What about the monitor settings? What settings? The alarm limits changed at 1:58. I don't touch those, he says. I'm not allowed to. True, he shouldn't touch them. They let him go. No accusations. Not their lane. Laura adds to her notes. Subject denies alarm access. Audit trail shows access events. Next step, verify user level logging. More numbers, fewer excuses. TV shows chase autopsies. Real life uses timestamps and access logs first. Not every death gets a full autopsy. Families decline. Doctors certify based on charts and judgment. This hospital wants to close a process hole before harm repeats. So, pharmacy next. Automated dispensing cabinets. ADCS track who takes what, when, and for which patient. They're the airport kiosks of meds. The pharmacy manager runs a diversion report, odd usage filter. In the past months, the unit's cabinet shows late-night return to stock events. Back-to-back, same user. Not illegal, but odd. Same user. Philip's badge. Could be cleaning up after codes, returning unopened items. That happens. Laura cross-references returns with code times. Several returns land minutes after codes, not just returns, quick opens, as if something was pulled and put back, or grabbed in a rush and logged wrong. Not proof, but the stack grows. Back to monitor logs. Laura asks Biomed for user-level exports, the who did what, not only the what happened. Every alarm change is a CSV line, date, time, terminal ID, action, and sometimes a username. On 3 nights with codes, one workstation makes unauthorized alarm changes, toggling, silencing, threshold shifts. That workstation is a mobile charting cart used by techs for vitals. The login session belongs to the unit clerk, who, at that exact time, is documented helping a lab runner elsewhere. Who touched the cart? Only cameras might tell. The camera that wasn't meant for this. Most hallways aren't on camera, privacy and cost. But there is a camera at the staff entrance by the supply room, black and white, boring, pointing at a door. 1:56 a.m., the night of Mr. Lane's death. A tech-sized figure leaves the supply room with a small plastic bucket, the kind used for wipes or tubing. The figure pauses next to the mobile charting cart. The bucket goes down. Fingers tap the screen. The bucket is picked up. The figure walks off. No face, but a badge lanyard and shoes. Black, clean, reflective stripe on the heel. The assistant nurse manager watches once, quietly. That looks like Philip. This isn't TV. No hall confrontations. Legal is called, then compliance, then the CNO. They decide to watch more and move carefully. If you want the truth to hold, you need to be sure. No leaps, no vibes, just proof. Clearing the red herrings. Staff get spooked. Rumors bloom. Maybe the monitors are faulty. Maybe sensor pads are bad. Maybe the new software patch broke alarms. Maybe the unit is just sicker lately. Quality runs each down. Biomed checks firmware, no issue. Materials checks padlots, one advisory, but not used here. IT checks the EHR patch. It touched pharmacy, not alarms. Census and acuity? Normal to slightly lower. No seasonal spike. When everything's system looks fine, the absence becomes its own signal. The week of watching. Quiet process changes go live. 2-person cosign for late-night alarm changes. Auto-lock turned on for mobile charting carts. After-hours pharmacy returns need extra confirmation. A unit supervisor stays on the floor past 1 a.m., unannounced. Night 1. Nothing happens. People roll eyes. Maybe it's all spreadsheet paranoia. Night 2, 2:11 a.m. A call light pings at the far end. The assigned nurse is tied up, the first unassigned responder. Philip. He stays about 2 minutes. No charting entered. The room's monitor shows a brief silence. Auto-lock kicks in on the cart. To continue, a user would need a fresh login. He leaves. The primary nurse enters and charts. Patient stable. 2:22 a.m. The primary alarm escalates. Hallway light flashes. Overhead call code blue. The team runs. Philip is there first. Again. They work the code. The patient survives. Quiet relief. While the code runs, the supervisor steps to the desk monitor and pulls the audit log. The screen does not accuse. It lists times 2:11:34, silence toggle. 2:12:02, limits adjusted. 2:22:10 alarm escalation. The cart's auto-log shows use at 2:11 under the clerk session, but the clerk is documented charting in another room at 2:11:07. The only way both are true, Someone used an unlocked session they didn't own. In these cases, tiny details carry the case. The conversation, real life, not TV. Morning, conference room. Present, CNO, HR, quality, compliance council. No police, no cameras, table, water, a manila folder with 2 months of printouts. We're reviewing night shift events, the CNO says. We need to go over some records. Page 1, schedule grid. Codes highlighted. Phillips shifts in blue. The overlap looks like plaid. Why were you in these rooms before events? I do rounds. Page 2, door logs. Why scan into unassigned rooms with no charting after? I answer call lights. I help. Page 3, monitor audit trail. Tell us about these alarm changes. I never touch alarms. I'm not allowed. Page 4, still frame from the staff entrance camera. Bucket, shoes, hand tapping the cart. This is you, correct? He stares a beat too long. Looks like me. Final page. Supervisor's fresh notes. Auto-lock times. Conflicting logins. Why use a workstation under someone else's session? No answer. He tries a small smile that works with anxious families, but not here. I'm always first to respond, he says at last. I know, the CNO says. That's what this is about. They place him on administrative leave pending investigation. Security collects his badge. Quiet exit. After the room goes quiet. No courthouse finale here. This is not about headlines. It's about a system finding a person-sized hole and closing it fast. The hospital self-reports to the state. They open a formal root cause analysis. Families whose loved ones coded on the review nights are notified. The words are careful. We are reviewing events on this date. We will answer questions. Some families want details. Some do not. Inside the hospital, they do what should be done, especially when no one is watching. High-level alarm changes require a unique code every time. No piggyback on unlocked sessions. Mobile carts switch to badge to wake. No open screens in hallways. Pharmacy cabinets deny after-hours returns without a live pharmacist code. Training refresh. Who can touch what? And real enforcement. No rockstar exceptions. Unannounced supervisor rounds between 1 and 3 a.m. A confidential patient safety reporting line opens, anonymous, recorded, investigated. Then something everyone felt but didn't want to say. Code blues drop, not to 0. This is a hospital. But the strange cluster lifts. The state conducts its own review. We won't speculate on outcomes. This is a culture story. We saw it before the worst happened again. Things people said. Some lines stick. Respiratory therapist. I felt bad questioning it. He helped. You don't want to side-eye the guy with the backboard. Turns out not asking was worse. Night nurse, 15 years in. I started doubting myself. Am I missing alarms? Just tired. Now I know my gut was reading a pattern my brain hadn't graphed. Laura, the analyst, in the cafeteria. I didn't catch a villain. I caught a pattern. Villain is our brain trying to tidy a messy truth. Someone saw trust, found gaps, and used them. The system didn't know it was bleeding until the graphs turned red. She sips bad coffee. Build systems that don't need heroes. What about Mr. Lane? Did the audit prove someone caused his collapse? Number. Not without forensic steps the hospital chose not to pursue, for its own reasons and the family's wishes. But this is true. His death triggered a review that likely prevented others. Sometimes, the life you save belongs to a person you'll never meet, because you fixed the thing waiting for them. The hero problem. We love heroes. Healthcare has real ones. Nurses who spot a small change and prevent a crash. Techs who unkink a tube in the dark. RTS who fix a vent by touch. That is good. The problem is when the hero idea covers weak controls. He's a rock star. Let him adjust the monitor. She's always first. Give her the override code. Speed feels kind. It also builds back doors. The fix isn't no heroes. The fix is boring and strict. No one changes certain settings without their own login. No one borrows logins. No after-hours returns without a live check. No one gets to be everywhere first without someone asking why and checking the logs. And when someone is always first through the door, high-five them and pull the receipts anyway. For families and staff. If you're a patient or family member, ask, when an alarm goes off, who responds? What's the policy on changing alarm settings? Say, please document that in the chart when a change is made. If something feels off, talk to the charge nurse. Use patient relations to learn processes. Asking is not accusing. If your staff don't let, he just knows what he's doing, replace controls. If your gut says too many codes, it may be seeing a pattern. Speak up, push for auto-lock carts and unique logins for sensitive actions. The slowdown lasts a week, then no one notices. Questioning a process is not attacking a person. It protects your care. What happened to Philip? The hospital's careful statement says, following an internal review of clinical events and system logs, the hospital placed a staff member on administrative leave and implemented additional safeguards to ensure patient safety. We reported our findings to the appropriate authorities and are cooperating fully. We are grateful to team members who raised concerns and to families for their patience and trust. No victory lap. No montage. A hole in a schedule. New policies where old ones failed. A month later, the coffee cup is back on the whiteboard. The night is quiet. Alarms behave. A cooking show murmurs down the hall. At 2 a.m., the hallway feels how it should. Boring. Boring is good in a hospital. Why tell this story? If you're still here, you're the kind of person who doesn't need jump scares. You like the backstage truth, how clipboards and spreadsheets change outcomes quietly. The hero here isn't a cape, it's a graph. A clerk who printed a list. A nurse who said too many. A data analyst who colored boxes until they talked. A supervisor who walked at 2 a.m. without warning. A team that shut a back door and didn't apologize for an extra click. If you work nights, I hope you feel seen. If you've had a loved one under a monitor, I hope you feel a little safer. Not because evil doesn't exist, but because boring, careful, verified process can meet it at the door and say, not here. Closing. 2 thoughts. The fastest responder is not automatically the best caregiver. Speed is a tool. Character is what you do when no one is watching and a cart is unlocked. The people who stopped this didn't try to be heroes. They tried to be honest. They asked plain questions. They printed receipts. They gave the system fewer chances to be fooled. That's what safety looks like. Less romance, more receipts. If this resonated, thank you for listening with care. For more calm, clear, non-graphic true crime built for late-night listening, please like and subscribe. Tell me where you're watching from and what time it is. Yes, I read them all.
Case closed. archived in the synthetic vault. If you dare to return, the next file awaits. truecrime.exe. The line between fiction and fear.